That's how fragile it is.
Permanent daylight saving time or permanent standard time? Because when it comes to the switches, there's a lot of
daylight savings time needs to die.
But then there's science. Hi, I'm Michelle Dang, filling in for Wendy Zuckerman this week, and you are listening to Science Versus. Today, we're pitting facts against falling back and springing forward. Pretty soon, a lot of us will be changing our clocks by an hour, and with this biannual ritual comes a chorus of haters.
Daylight savings time needs to die.
Twice a year, I have to mess with my life and move the clock by 1 hour because of daylight saving time.
I hate daylight savings. I just would like to have a moment of silence for how much daylight savings fucks up your day.
A lot of people think it's time to say goodbye to these shifts. In fact, a handful of countries have already abolished the switches. And well, in the US, hundreds of bills have been proposed to do the same.
There's a new push in Congress to lock the clocks and stop our spring and fall tradition altogether.
The Senate unanimously approving a proposal to make daylight saving time permanent.
So a lot of people want to quit changing the clocks, but there's a lot of debate. Like, yeah, having that sunlight in the evening after work is really nice, but people are saying it's bad for our health, even dangerous. That daylight saving time could even kill you.
Did you know the number of heart attacks increased right after daylight saving changes?
Having to wake up in the dark is not only uncomfortable, it's actually really bad for your health long term.
So today, we're looking at the science of springing forward and falling back and asking, should we get rid of these clock changes once and for all? And if so, what's better for us? Permanent daylight saving time or permanent standard time? Because when it comes to the switches, there's a lot of
daylight savings time needs to die.
But then there's science. Science versus daylight saving time is coming up after the break.
Ontario, the wait is over. The gold standard of online casinos has arrived. Golden Nugget Online Casino is live, bringing Vegas-style excitement and a world-class gaming experience right to your fingertips. Whether you're a seasoned player or just starting, signing up is fast and simple. And in just a few clicks, you can have access to our exclusive library of the best slots and top-tier table games. Make the most of your downtime with unbeatable promotions and jackpots that can turn any mundane moment into a golden opportunity at Golden Nugget Online Casino. Take a spin on the slots, challenge yourself at the tables, or join a live dealer game to feel the thrill of real-time action, all from the comfort of your own devices. Why settle for less when you can go for the gold at Golden Nugget Online Casino? Gambling problem? Call Connects Ontario 1-866-531-2600. 19 and over. Physically present in Ontario. Eligibility restrictions apply. See goldennuggetcasino.com for details. Please play responsibly.
By the 7-time world's best leisure airline champions, Air Transat.
Welcome back. Today on the show, daylight saving time. Is it bad for us and should we get rid of it? I'll be discussing the science today with senior producer Meryl Horn. Hey Meryl.
Hey Michelle.
Are you ready for the fall switch?
Not at all. I hate daylight savings time.
What part do you hate?
Mostly because I have 2 small kids. It's like you spend all this time trying to make their bedtimes go well and get them up for school at a certain time, and then it's like you suddenly remember, oh crap, like everything has to happen differently tonight, and either try to keep them up late or try to put them down early, which never works, and it's just a mess for that first few days.
You don't think you get that extra hour of sleep in the fall switch?
No.
Okay. So Meryl, why do you think we have daylight saving time in the first place?
I mean, I've heard it's because of the farmers, something to do with the farmers.
So I also heard that before. Interestingly, it has nothing to do with the farmers. But it actually started as a government project to save energy.
Huh.
and this is back during the World War One years.
Wait, so it's only been around since World War One?
Yeah, it was like conceptualized before that, but the first country to like widely adopt it was Germany as a way to save fuel during wartime efforts.
Why would that save fuel?
Like if you can extend the day and the sunlight, you can then save costs on working into the night. Like light and energy.
Okay.
Other countries in Europe then picked it up, and so did the US, which finalized the national schedule for it in the 60s.
Okay.
But the kind of funny thing is that these days, daylight saving time doesn't save that much energy.
Oh.
So like one report from 2008 found that we save 0.5% of electricity per day of what otherwise would have been used.
Oh.
And other studies find it doesn't save energy at all.
Once we realized that the fuel thing didn't make sense, why did we keep it? Is it just kind of tradition?
Yeah, so there's been some other big arguments to keep it. One was the economy. Like this idea that if there's more light out in the evening, that people are more likely to go shopping, do their errands.
Oh, that kind of makes sense. Like stores are open later in the summer in my neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and interestingly, like retail golf. Saving time to go over like trick-or-treating hours.
So that people be trick-or-treating in the light when it's like they can get more hours out of trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
Does it actually help the economy?
So there's studies on this too, and it's mixed. Whether it actually helps or not.
Even though the business people think it helps, it's not that clear that it's that good overall. It's not that clear that it's that good overall for businesses.
It could be helping
businesses.
It could be helping particular industries, right? But as a whole for the economy, it's pretty mixed. With where we are now in the U.S. about to fall back. Where we are now in the U.S. about to fall back. So meet Laura Prue, scientist at the University of University of Washington. And like you, she finds the fall switch pretty annoying.
Especially in Seattle when it's dark and rainy at that time of year anyway. Having it start to get dark at like 3:30 is really tough. At the end of your work, it's dark out already.
Yeah, it's so depressing. Yeah, I know. Like, sad we were just working for 8 hours, but then everything we do after work is then in darkness. And a big part of our evening is our commutes home. Activities, meeting friends. So traffic volume is definitely busier in the evening than in the morning. And this is where daylight saving time really intersects with Laura's work, because she is a wildlife ecologist, but one of the species that she studies is deer.
Oh.
You know, there are tons of deer across the entire US, and sure, they're cute, but they can also be kind of a big problem for us because we're always out there hitting them with our cars.
Yeah, I feel like this is not gonna end well for the deer.
Have you ever had any runs with deer?
No, but it's so scary. I know people who have, and it's so dangerous, like for everybody, if there's an accident with one. So it does freak me out.
Yeah. In the US, we hit a ton of deer with our cars, more than 2 million a year.
Whoa.
And that's just like what's reported. And most of the time when we hit them, it's dark out, like at dawn.
Because that's when the deer are like out and about.
Yeah, there's actually a word for when animals are on this kind of schedule. Here's Laura.
It's one of my favorite terms. It's called crepuscular.
Crepuscular?
I really like that. Crepuscular, yes.
That is a nice word. Crepuscular.
I can't say it. Crepuscular.
And
I think I'm still saying it wrong.
Okay, and that literally means that you're more active when it's dawn and dusk?
Yes, and so like these are the times when it's darker out, it's harder to see them, and those accidents can be really bad. Not just the deer, but the people involved too. Like every year in those accidents, almost 60,000 people get hurt.
Whoa.
And more than 400 people die.
Wow.
You know, fun fact, maybe not a nice fact, but this is the mammal in the US that's responsible for the most human deaths.
What? Is deer?
Yeah.
That's a fun fact. I'm sorry. So it's actually a really big problem. It's like if there was another animal that was killing that many humans, we would be like up in arms about this.
And so to connect this back to daylight saving time, when it gets darker earlier, that means a lot of us are commuting when it's darker as well. And in the fall, there's this other thing that's happening for the deer. They are actually busy getting it on.
Oh, so the rut is their mating season, and they are just jacked up on hormones. The males, the bucks, are just running around looking for females, and they're not paying as much attention. They're moving a lot more.
Oh no, so they're like even more active when the change is happening.
Yeah, Laura said that some studies find that deer are moving up to 50% more this time of year. And Laura was like, with all of that going on and adding the fact that it's getting darker earlier, is that causing us to hit more deer? So she and her team decided to look into this, and they started scraping national and state databases on car collision reports.
So we ended up collecting records of over 1 million deer vehicle collisions across 23 states.
Laura and her team want to know like the time, the date, and the location of these accidents to see like how the number of collisions change the week after daylight saving time ends.
Okay.
So here's Laura.
Suddenly now the evening rush hour is more in the dark, when it's much harder for us to see the deer, and that really causes the collision rates to spike. What we found was that switch in the fall led to a 16% increase in collisions, just comparing the week before the switch to the week after.
Oof. Okay. Well, so there's one reason that we shouldn't be doing this, because that means theoretically that more people are also dying. If there's more accidents overall.
Yeah, Laura and her team were thinking, they were like, what would happen if we just got rid of the switch?
Yeah.
What if we did daylight saving time all year round, so we had more light
Yeah.
in the evening all year round? Like, how many more deer collisions would that prevent? So they did a bunch of math on that and estimated that having permanent daylight saving time could prevent over 36,000 deer car accidents a year across the US.
Whoa.
And she calculated that would mean 2,000 fewer injuries and 33 fewer deaths.
What?
Yeah, I was surprised because, yeah, I thought it would just be a kind of maybe a little blip, but we found it was a pretty substantial effect.
That's huge. That's like, I mean, for those people that would obviously make a huge difference. That's pretty strong evidence. I feel like we should just keep daylight savings time.
They also found that if we had permanent daylight saving time, that it would save us $1.2 billion from those accidents.
Oh.
But total costs of medical bills and repairs. And it's not just about the deer here in the US, in case you were wondering. The same thing is true in Australia for koalas.
Oh no, the koalas get hit by cars.
There were some researchers from Queensland, Australia, that found that fewer koalas would get whacked if they went to permanent daylight saving time.
Wow, okay. Though, I mean, I hate to sound like this. I'm skeptical that like hitting a koala would kill as many people as hitting a deer. Sad to think about, but it seems like they just kind of squish under your car.
Oh, yeah, I know. And another big argument is that less crime happens when it's lighter out in the evening. Like, there was one study that found that in the US, robberies decreased during daylight saving time. In the evening hours, robberies went down by 27% when you compare daylight saving time to standard time.
Oh, that makes sense, yeah.
Bottom line for Laura, though, is that we should just really get rid of the switch. And she's a proponent for moving to permanent daylight saving time all year round.
Like, there's just, in my opinion, a lot more costs to switching human lives and thousands of injuries.
Okay, so that's some of the big players in team daylight saving time all the time. Less accidents with deer and less crime. What do you think overall? Are you currently convinced that we should stay on daylight saving time all
Yeah,
year?
I feel like we should. That's what I would pick. I'm more of a night person than a morning person. I'd rather have the sunlight after work. And I hate that the switching itself is such a pain. I don't see why we don't just do it all year round now. Let's do it.
I've only told you part of the science here. There's a whole other field of scientists that say we should have standard time all year instead.
What? Why? Why would anybody want the darkness all year round?
We're going to get into that after the break. Welcome back. I'm Michelle Dang, and today we're telling you about the effects of changing your hair here with Meryl Horn. So let's talk about another piece of this debate, the idea that switches are bad for our health and that we time. This is the argument you hear to do with that spring switch when we because a lot of us lose an hour of sleep.
Yeah.
To say like that not only messes with you cognitively, also can increase the risk of like heart attacks and strokes.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, you can hear this kind of thing all the time on the news.
Lose an extra hour of sleep as forward tomorrow. Research shows the bad news doesn't stop there. The risk for heart attack goes up in the first 2 days.
The time change can cause an increase in heart attacks, strokes, car accidents, exhaustion, and depression.
1 hour. 1 hour is
That's
all it takes.
insane.
That's how fragile and vulnerable you are to even just the smallest perturbation of sleep.
And the idea here is that some of this stuff might happen because you lose that hour of sleep and are tired. But another worry is that daylight saving time goes on to screw with our circadian rhythm, and it's because of light. So in the morning, when the sun comes up and shines into your eyeballs, it sort of ends up screaming at the cells in your body to wake up. It gets us alert, pumps out hormones to get us going for the day, and the timing of all this really matters. I talked about this with Jamie Zeitzer. He's a sleep.
Are you going to strengthen your circadian clock? And this is a clock in your brain that basically helps to synchronize all of your internal organs and all of your functioning.